Whoa, what's going on, everyone? Back with episode number 4 of Dev Game Blog. Not sure what it's called, but anyways, let's jump right into it. So it's been a while since my last video came out, and basically, I've been kind of waiting to make this video mainly because I've been constantly doing a lot of things, and I've been wanting to really showcase like the next big thing that I've been doing. But mainly since my last video, I've been doing a lot of bug fixing and whatnot. So I'll kind of just jump right into it because these videos are kind of long, so I'll try and make them as short as possible. And just to let everyone know, I'm going to have my GitHub link down in the description down below, so if you guys want to go down there, click it, and look at all the code, you're more than welcome to do so. Everything will be updated by the time this video is posted. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, not much has changed in terms of like the actual gameplay, but there's a couple little things I've added, so I'll just showcase it. You hit the play button, same thing happens, connects to the server, and basically you have the option between 3v3 and 1v1. So I have actually hooked up the 3v3 capture the flag game mode to a different map per se. So as you can see here, I have the CTF map, and basically it will load into it. Right now it's just a flat terrain, so I'm not even going to go into it, but hit 1v1 game mode, search for players. Again, no players in the lobby right now, currently just me. Load into game. And I believe I was able to showcase the Berserker, but there were a couple things that I've updated since my last video. So number one, when you jump right into it, the camera, a lot different from the regular one. In the last video, it centers on the character now, which is really nice, like much MOBAs do. And if you move to the edge, the camera will follow. And now it's properly set. So a couple cool things about this camera that I actually didn't even showcase in my last video is if you hit the space bar, boom, it instantly locks back onto the character, so you can be all the way out here, hit space, bam. And if you hit the L key, it will lock on, so you can't move it. So pretty cool in that sense. Also, it has a zoom in function, so you can get really close into the character and kind of look around and zoom out. Another thing too is that what I didn't really go over is the cell shading technique I've used for these towers here. As you can see, they have a nice black outline on a nice black outline on the whole object here. Along with that, as you can see, the characters themselves too have some cell shading going on, which is pretty dope. And I'll get a little bit into the characters later, but for some reason, or not for some reason, but rather I still haven't had the time to do animation yet, so he's still kind of just kind of is what it is. Another thing too is that I want the character to feel more like League of Legends in terms of movement rather than Dota, just because from my personal experience, I feel like the movement in League of Legends is just a little bit better than in Dota. So I'm gonna have to kind of get it to work. Let me put down the music a little bit. It's a little too loud right now. There we go. Boom. Hit space, goes back. Alright, so just to jump into the actual game itself, the one thing I did end up working since last video was towers and pathfinding. So right now, all characters do have stats, and just by stats I mean health on them, but just for now there isn't no bar displaying that above their name. But the one cool thing is when you enter into the tower radius, it will begin to attack the character, and once you leave, it no longer attacks it. So only within a certain range will the tower begin to fire. So just a couple side notes. One thing, actually, when you zoom in real close, you can see a blood particle effect kind of go on to the character as he's getting hit. And what I also want to do is that when the character gets hit, like in League of Legends, your screen will kind of flash red. The thing is, right now I don't have the tower set up for the corresponding side, so the red tower, even though he does spawn on the red side, the red tower will attack him, and same thing goes with the blue tower. So I gotta make it so that if you're on the red side, only the blue towers will attack you, and if you're on the blue side, only the red towers will attack you. So another thing I got working from last video, which is pretty interesting, was pathfinding. In my last video, basically, if you were to click, say I click here, my character will kind of just path into the wall. Now when you click, he will path around it. So pathfinding works out, which is pretty cool. But the problem was when I did get pathfinding working, it kind of messed with my character a little bit. So now there's like a turn speed to it. So that's why you get this weird turn thing. Once I get animations working, then I'm gonna figure out how to properly do it so the character instantly turns around rather than having this weird like turn animation to it. So yeah, besides that, that's about it. I'll kind of go over the how the towers work basically, just to kind of showcase that. So let me go to my map. and I'll use the blue tower for instance. So as you can see here on the turret script, it has a turret turn speed. So basically what I'm gonna do is that when you, let me just show you guys. So basically what I want to do is that I want it so that the towers themselves turn in the direction of the enemy. So if I go to red tower, so this little red outline here basically just shows the range of the actual tower themselves. But when you get into the actual tower, you can see that there is, I made a thing called part to rotate. So basically what happens is that you have the base of the tower, which is just the base here, and then you have the tower. So what I'm gonna try and do is that basically when an enemy is within the range of the tower, the top of the tower will actually rotate and turn towards the enemy. Now one problem I am running into is that with this model itself is that when it rotates, you can see that it kind of leaves the base of the tower a little bit. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to properly fix that so that I don't run into that issue in the future. So for the most part, it would be very rare that the actual character would be directly behind the turret. So I just have to properly figure out how to do it so that even if the character is behind the actual model itself, it doesn't basically look a little wacky. So just going back into it very quickly. Oh, my dog's in here. I didn't even realize that. Oh, so problem is that when I do load the map, it needs to be loaded from the main menu. I won't save anything there. It has to be loaded from the main menu every time because it has to check first to see whether there are players on the server. If they are, then the game will start. Otherwise, it doesn't start. So again, just Berserker. Pathfinding seems to be working. And again, I will go over just how the towers themselves work. You can see that after it will generate this particle effect called hit blood, and then after a certain amount of time, it'll just boom, delete itself. What am I looking for? Okay, again, I'll just do it on the blue tower. So again, I will have to change the bullet prefab here, so it's not just this white sphere. I'll make it like an actual tower shot or whatever. So what happens is that the enemy, once the enemy walks within the range of the tower itself, the then tower will pick up that an enemy has walked in, so enemy tag, and basically when you leave, it will then no longer detect it and stop firing. So target Berserker, as the Berserker is the enemy, and once he leaves, boom, gone. So I got a fire rate of 1 right now. I can make it do a little bit faster. And I have to add damage to it so that the actual character will begin to lose health. But besides that, that's all I got for this video here. I do have a little some mental notes here that I want to make sure are in effect for next video. So I do have health bars set up, but I have to make it so that towers do actually damage the enemy. So I'm probably going to make it so if I got to figure out the numbers, but if I have a character with 200 health, I got to figure out not only have towers do a certain amount of damage, but ramp up in damage the more it attacks. For next video, I will 100% have minions spawning and auto attacking, and I want to set health bars. So every character has a health bar, and I want it so that when minions attack you, you lose health, and when towers attack you, you lose health. And for next, so that'll be for next video. And then possibly I'll have this as like extra if I can squeeze it in. Again, like I said, I want custom cursors to be working, animations I'm gonna try and get working, and what else? Maybe I'll showcase 2 players on the network so that you can actually kind of see them battle back and forth. So possibly auto attacking for characters as well, just so I can kind of showcase that the game's kind of functional in that sense. And maybe I'll start abilities. Maybe I'll see. Yeah. So just going through it real quick too. There was one more thing that I wanted to show. So I do have this prefab here. You guys won't be able to see it. I have this oh, come on, there we go. Okay, so I have this prefab here, this character model here. Pretty cool. The thing I like about it is that he just has overall more animations than the other characters I've been currently using. So that's why I've been kind of holding off on animations for now, because I'm not 100% sure which characters I want to use. But regardless, I can set up a simple animation controller just to handle auto attacking, death, walk, and all that kind of stuff. What am I looking for? Controller. Yeah. So I have this controller here: stand, relax, attack 1, attack 2, hit, die, walk. So I'm gonna kind of go over it and see whether I want to use the characters I'm using now, or if I want to use this pack by Rain Entertainment, which is something I found on the Asset Store. Really great because he has a lot of really cool different characters and such. And I don't want this video to get too long. Entertainment. Anyway, it's not popping up, so I don't want to get too long into this video, but yeah, that's about it. Again, I'll have my GitHub link down in the description down below. I'll have my LinkedIn link down in the description down below. I'll have my Twitter link down in the description down below. So if you guys are interested, please go check us out on any of those types of things down there. And again, if you're interested in how the code works for this, again, all that will be linked down in the description down below. Pathfinding and the turret script are the two ones that I think are the most interesting in that sense. So if you have any questions about that, leave it down again in the comments and I'll try and think. Thank you. This is Tristan signing out. This is